Sports Guy Mike hanging out with you. Comedy 98.5. Speaking of comedy, well, I don't know if you could say speaking of comedy, but Comic-Con, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, August 24th through the 26th at the Chapel Hills Event Center. We are so happy to have the original Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, Mr. Lou Ferrigno, in the house.
Good morning.
Lou, how are you, sir?
Thanks for having me. How are you today?
Good. Now, you were talking to my co-host Nancy over there about where she's from. You're from Brooklyn originally, right?
Correct, yeah.
I'm from the Bronx originally.
Really?
Grew up in Rockland County, right across from Westchester.
Wow.
You know where that is. Went back there last summer. So, fellow New Yorkers, man. Just figured I'd throw that out there.
How's the neighborhood? Is it different?
It's in the Bronx. It's absolutely different from when my grandparents, my great grandparents, are Italian immigrants.
Okay.
And then we also have German in our family as well. So for some reason, everybody was in that Pelham Bay area. So, but the neighborhood's completely different.
But the funny thing is, years ago when I was a kid, when I was young, they said it's forbidden to go to Harlem. Now Harlem completely changed. It's beautiful. I mean, they got restaurants. I mean, the whole neighborhood. Even Brooklyn by the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, completely renovated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is very, I don't want to say, there's sections of Brooklyn now that are so, like, uppity, hoity-toity, if you know what I mean.
Well, the good thing about the Bronx and Brooklyn, they can never take the Bronx or Brooklyn out of you.
Never.
Whatever you move to, it's still.
It'll never happen.
Yeah.
It'll never happen. So I got to ask you, I obviously being the Incredible Hulk, I did read on your website that Bill Bixby was kind of a mentor for you.
Yeah.
How did, like, what did he do for you back then?
Well, when you're on a TV series, you spend more time with the co-star than sometimes with your family. Like Bill, when I first came into the business, I didn't know anything about acting. So
right.
He took me under his wing. I've learned to watch him. I learned about reading script. I learned about the cue, the mark, the lighting, the dialogue. So I watched Bill because I was a big fan of his.
Right.
And he was a terrific actor, producer, and director. So, and he was like a second father.
First of all, growing up, a 70s and 80s kid, I'm 49 now. I'll be 50 this year. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. But, growing up watching that show, I was a huge fan of not just yours, but Bill's as well, because I was the cable guy. You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was that kid. My mother worked 2 jobs.
Okay.
She worked at a bank, and then she worked making screens. So I sat in front of that TV for 8 hours a day. So all I did was watch TV. All I did was see guys like you on TV all the time. So Bill Bixby was big. So that's crazy that he was one of your mentors. What was one of the biggest things that got you to move away from doing the bodybuilding and getting into the acting and the theater and stuff like that?
Well, when I did Pumping Iron with your favorite governor, Arnold.
Yes.
Yeah, no, okay. So anyway, it put us on the map. It's
right.
mainstream, but then when the Hulk came along, because I've always wanted to be an actor, I never told anyone, because back then, the way we looked, in those days, you had guys like Lee Marvin, like the leaner-looking guys. You would never think muscle guys would make it into the film business.
Right.
So kind of like I was one of the first ones to break the mold, and then the other people came along, like Arnold, Sylvester Stallone. So I had a chance to begin with the Hulk, even though pantomime, that means acting without speaking.
Sure.
But that was like a platform for me to learn to be an actor, because since then, I've done 5 different TV series, over 40 films. But when I first did the Hulk, it came easy to me. But still, it's like acting training. But it's funny now, if you fast forward it, look what you see on the big screen. You see the Avengers. You see Thor, all the A-list actors doing the Adventure film, action film.
Now, that was, I'm glad you said that. It was a great segue for me. Do you, like I know you've been in one of them, but have you wanted to maybe get involved more with some of that, with the Avengers and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, because I've done the voice for the Hulk and the CGI film.
Right.
Even though CGI, I'm not a big fan of CGI.
Right.
But nothing like the original series. But the beauty about the original series, they go on forever, like Star Trek,
sure.
like Twilight Zone. But it's funny that I could do 10 Gun with the Wind film, but everybody still wants to identify with the Hulk. I mean, it's the most beloved character in every language. Like Nancy,
it
like
is.
Mexico, they call the Hulk Hoop. They say Green Man.
Yes.
It was huge in Latin America, South America, and Mexico.
The Green Man.
Yeah, exactly. I know. They still call me the Green Man.
What's your favorite part of acting?
The ability to get into that frame and play a different character. Because a lot of great actors, the characters they play, they wish they could be like those characters in real life. they escape. It's like an escape. It's like with your imagination. Like, for example, I was a Hulk my whole life. So right at the Hulk, I knew that he was primitive, the mind thinking almost like a creature.
Right.
So I used that part of my life, and that's why it came so natural.
Now, I did, you said something, before we went on our air about you being a sheriff now.
Yeah, 15 years.
So what prompted that? Where did that come from?
Well, you see, my father was the NYPD.
Okay.
So about 15 years ago, at a party, I was talking to the sheriff, and he said, "Why don't you give it a shot, go through the academy?" I said, "Okay." I didn't want to be honorary. I wanted a real deal. So I took 6 months. I'm dealing with young guys, to study and the drive and the shooting, to learn the laws of the arrest, the Constitution, and the whole what I call learning domain. I mean, when you become a police officer, it's all the learning domain. So I had to take all these exams there. And you only get like 12 to 14 examination. If you fail once or twice, you're gone. So my table was loaded with textbooks, all about the Constitution, the Circuit Court, the Supreme Court. So anyway, it got easier as time went on, but it changed my life because I've always wanted to be a police officer.
Wow.
So I decided to make that decision to do it.
I took the NYPD test years ago. This is when David Dinkins was mayor.
Okay.
And he wanted to hire 30,000 new police officers, which never happened.
Okay.
I think we got like 8,000. And at the time was Desert Storm. So when I went home, my mother said, "Really?" She's like, "You're going to go be a cop? They're probably going to put you in transit. You're going to get killed in the first year. Oh, my God, please don't do this." So I didn't do it. And instead, I went to the recruiter's office. And my third cousin signed me up to be a Marine. And I joined the Marines. And she's like, "Okay, so you went from wanting to be a cop to now you're going to go join the Marines during a war." She's like, "Thank you so much." And I'm her only child. So,
wow.
Yeah, I kind of scared her a little bit. But I always wanted to be a police officer, too. My stepfather was a cop for 25 years.
That's too late.
In New York. Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna read your books. I'm gonna start training like you, Lou, because we gotta lose about 20 pounds here, buddy, before I go anywhere near.
I've been doing it for 54 years.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Even now, I train almost every day. I train light. I train heavy if I used to. I used to train heavy years ago.
But let me ask you, Lou, is it something that you really have to do every day?
I would say if you want to maintain what you have to, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all about consistency, maintain what you have.
Okay.
A lot of guys I've seen over the years, they quit training, they get overweight, and start to have. You see, I don't know if you know this. If you work out for a long period of time, a heart surgeon told me, when you expand your body, when you build muscle, your heart grows in size with the muscle.
Okay.
If you stop training completely, you got to remember that heart is pumping that extra blood. That's why it could be reversed. It could be a situation called a heart attack. But everyone, I think, I don't care who it is, to be active, some kind of physical exercise, walking, swimming, and training. Every one of us needs to do that because you only live once.
Right.
And you want to preserve what you have.
Absolutely. Well, I'm 49. I'm going to be 50 this year.
You're going to be 50.
I'm going to be 50, Lou. So give me some pointers. What do I need to do? If today was my day one, how do I start?
Okay.
What advice would you give a guy like me?
Go on a balanced diet.
Okay.
Watch your calories. Exercise 3 times a week. 45 minutes cardio, weight training, and sleep good.
Okay.
Very simple.
That is simple. That's really simple.
But everybody makes it complicated. They drink these protein shakes.
Oh, my
they take
God.
the creatine, tons of
pills and everything else.
There's no secret. It's all in the mind. With that positive attitude, you're going to go to the gym, make that time to train, not to socialize.
There you go. Now, I got to ask you, Comic-Con, what's your favorite thing about Comic-Con?
The instant gratification, interacting with the fan. I have my pictures, my posters. They bring stash memorabilia stuff, the sign. I mean, it's great because we have Q&A, we have photo op, we have also, meet and greet. But what's nice about it, it gives you a chance to talk to the celebrities because on the street, hard to talk to celebrities. So this is where we'll all be there, meeting the fan. And it's also great for all families, for generations.
Sure.
Because it's all about your imagination. And most people come to this show, they're big readers of the comic book heroes.
Absolutely.
They want to interact. It's great. It's very exhilarating. My
2 youngest kids are 8 and 6, and I've gotten them into comics. But I've also paid a lot of money for some older comics that I read when I was a kid so that they can actually look at and read. And now they have, when they read them, it's funny. They're like turning the pages like this. And I'm like, it's okay. I bought it for you to enjoy it, not keep it in
when
that
I was 12, 13
plastic.
years old, and 12, 13 years old in Brooklyn, I had a youth box stacked of old comics. I had the first issue of Spider-Man and the Hulk. Guess what? I traded that for Muscle Magazine. Can you imagine if I had those comic books?
Do you know how much they'd be worth, Lou? Good God.
But I used to read it from story to story because as a kid, I had a lot of pain. I was abused as a kid, so I escaped reading the comics. You know, it's like a real life Walter Mitty. You escape that pain. It's wonderful. And I say it goes for adults too. We all have that connection because it's a connection about power.
Right. Crazy.
By the way, Nancy's sitting over here. She's being ignored. How come she's...
No, she's...
Come on, Nancy.
I'm good.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Ferrigno?
Well, we were talking off air. So we were talking about, you know, you're going to Mexico soon, and he was asking some questions about that. But no, I think your story is so inspiring. Exactly. Like, I think sometimes you come from nothing, and you make something of it. And sometimes you have to use that pain. Like, I came to this country at 10 years old. English is not my first language. But here I am, speaking to you.
But it's funny when you speak in English, you never think that you're from Mexico.
Thank
City
you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of work.
She hides it well.
Yeah. It's been a lot of work, but sometimes the accent comes out, or sometimes I'm like, what's that word in Spanish? Or even when I'm speaking to my parents. So it's awesome to hear your story, and it's very inspiring. That's. It's rare to hear celebrities talk about like the rough stuff in the early days because we don't see that. We just see the limelight, the glamour, the like, oh, we're so excited you're sitting here, but you're a real person underneath it all.
Exactly.
So
because I came from nothing because I was young. I had to deal with the hearing and speech issues. So that made me who I am.
You have some books. You have some movies coming out.
Yeah, I got a great movie coming out called Enter the Fire, kind of like a Karate Kid kind of movie in 2019.
Nice.
And last year I was at the lead cast. I was filming a comedy, a spoof of Game of Thrones. I played the role of Ned. But you know what's interesting? I was filming in England.
Okay.
And I was the only American in the film. And you have all these English actors. And the food, I don't like the food in England. But English people have a different way of bonding.
Yes.
They have a different sense of humor.
Yeah.
So we're all in the castle. So it wasn't a pretty sight sometimes.
What was your favorite movie you've ever done? Favorite role, other than the Hulk, of course.
I Love You, Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
that was
great.
That was a big comedy in 2008. They're trying to sell my house.
So funny.
I put Jason Segel in the sleeper hole.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh my
Tell
gosh.
him don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Now, King of Queens, how did that happen?
Well, I did a movie called The Godson with Rodney Dangerfield and Eloise. The one night the producers were watching the film, they said, why not have Lou on the show for one episode as a neighbor? So when I did the episode, they decided to keep me, give me a recurring role because everyday life, people, they see me, they say, Hulk Joe, they said, would you mind playing yourself? I said, sure, not a problem.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And I actually wanted you to be on the show more because every time you were on there, it just kind of, it just made it that much funnier. It just did. Kevin James is amazing. I met him years ago, and he is so funny and so transcendent. The guy always complains about his weight and stuff, but yet he has never lost his sense of humor no matter what his weight was.
They make fun of themselves on the show. Like Lee Remini, she has the mouth of a construction worker.
Oh, God.
Yeah, beautiful girl and everything. But
it's that New York Italian.
Yeah, she's good.
She's got it. Okay, I got to ask you one last thing. Weirdest or craziest thing somebody's ever brought to Comic-Con to have you sign?
Private body part.
I knew it!
I knew it! Well, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, man.
One time a woman came to me who was drunk.
Oh, Lord.
And she gave me this big pen. She wanted me to sign between her legs. I said, ma'am, I can't do that. And she's saying, I've been a big fan of you my whole life. You want to sign between my legs because I love you so much.
Oh,
and I'm just like, then had to call security. But I don't get me started.
All right. It's Lou Ferrigno, the original Hulk. He's going to be at the Chapel Hills Event Center for Colorado Springs Comic-Con, 24th through the 26th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Anything else you want to let?
Yeah, it opens tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's going to be a great show. We got great celebrities there. So it's nothing to do with drug, sex, and violence. It's a very exhilarating, happy, positive show. So come on down, and we're expecting close to 20,000 people.
There you go. Lou, thanks for coming in, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Stick around. We'll be right back. Sports Guy Mike, Nancy Perez, right here on Comedy 98.5.